Alright. We are back with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Alright. Chat overview is working. Sorta. Alright. Should be good to go. Alright, let's see, what does it say? Read the notes you find while exploring dungeons. They might contain some valuable clues. Good to know. Alright. Okay, so last we left off, I was doing my best to clear out a lot of the, the demon armies throughout the map. Let's see. It wouldn't let me just skip this battle. So champions, skeletons, skeletal sharpshooters. We'll go after the sharpshooters first. Ranged enemies have to always be the high priority target. Alright, they're down. Next up we take out... I guess I'll go after the skeletal champion. No. I'll hit the skeletons. Rest up. Alright. Shoot down these skeletons next. Huh? Whoa! Oh! There's another group! Oh, I totally missed that. Way down in the corner. Hiding from prying eyes. Alright. Let's reload this and try this again. I won't screw up this time. Throw the fire. We'll still throw the fireball over here. Dealing with all of these. And this time I'm gonna try to shoot down the skeletons. Charge them down if I have to. Alright, they're done. Alright, lift them out the way. Heal. Smite evil. Then heal them into oblivion. Or try to. 450. 26. Still more worth it to just fireball the whole lot of them. Yep, I replenished back all my losses. So it was worth it. Alright, let's see. Having relieved the last undead from their curse, the clerics discovered an artifact emanating vile energy that had been attracting the living dead to this place. After carefully sealing their find with protective spells, the clerics brought it to the commander. What is this? Broken phylactery of Stevanius the Rotten. Stevanius became known as the Rotten after his act of treachery. An apprentice of Zacharias, a great hero of the Crusade, Stevanius deserted on the eve of the battle for the lost chapel and dedicated himself to the forbidden art of necromancy. When the inquisitors caught up with him, Stevanius made an outrageous claim that his master, the valiant Zacharias, had also been practicing necromancy, using its dark secrets against the demons. Shortly afterward, Stevanius managed to escape, killing the warrior sent to arrest him. According to his journal, his next undertaking was a ritual that was supposed to transform him into a lich, an immortal master over the undead. The details of the ritual are now lost, but all the research into undeath points out that such potent magic cannot possibly exist. The tragic death of Stevanius the Rotten, who failed to achieve immortality and ended up a mindless undead, serves as yet further proof of this. What a shame. If only he had chosen to just turn away from the ways of necromancy, would have been fine. That's it for that. That was the last spot there. I don't think there's anything else in Mendev for me to particularly worry about. Okay, we'll go over here. I know there's a demon army that's supposed to be incoming. I just don't know which one it is. I think it's this one. But who knows? Alright. Let's explore the Crimson Dust. Or not. Crimson Dust is way... I misread the map. That's on a hillside. I have to go all the way down and around in order to get to it. Everyone's fatigued. If we rest now, what happens? No, we're past the usual expiration time. We gotta go back. Alright. No more traveling about. I'm gonna take a long rest and then go into what's it called? Into Winter Sun. Hold on. Alright. Oh, huh. The sword of valor glows as if in greeting. The glow is so bright, it's not immediately clear there is another source of light present. The shimmering golden wings of a magnificent angel. Hey there.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Oh, not many people talking.
Nope, not today. Alright.
What time does it start?
About 4:40.
What?
Yeah, there's some complications that have occurred. So I wound up being particularly late today.
Doing everything you do. I'm like, okay, we've done that sick, and then can you get this stuff done and get your gym, but...
Unfortunately, I might not have a choice in the matter. I might still have to end the stream around 6.
Why?
I have to make it to a few locations today within a timely manner.
What?
And so, but at any rate, for now, let's focus on reading this.
Valiant champion of Golarion, allow me to greet you. My name is the Hand of the Inheritor, and I am the Herald of Iomedae, the Lightbringer.
The face of the angel is hidden by a helm, but his eyes are clearly looking at you. When he begins to speak, there is an undercurrent of excitement in his resounding, proud voice. The angel then drops to one knee before you, his grace bellowing his monumental stature. Looks cool. Alright. I always take the good choice. Please arise. Such displays are unnecessary.
I am only giving you the credit you deserve, valiant champion. We have much to discuss, champion. You must have many questions for me, and I for you. First of all, I wish to say that I have come here to do what I can to help you. But also because I too need your help. But what I need most of all is an answer to a question that has been troubling me.
If you are here, does that mean I truly am Iomedae's chosen?
What does your heart tell you?
The angel asks inquisitively. Well, I believe I am the chosen one. I can defend. I will do everything I can to defend Golarion. Nothing. I gain these abilities out of nowhere. I have no idea what to do with them. I believe the goddess chose me, but I'm not happy about it. Wish the gods had left me alone. Let's see, I think I'll choose... I believe I am the chosen one and will do everything I can to defend Golarion.
Conviction like that is what is needed to set hearts ablaze in righteous fury. I'm glad to see it in you. I hope my answer won't cause you to waver in your certitude. Listen, I cannot answer yes or no to your question, for it would not be an honest answer. Do not wait for me to say, here is the power bestowed upon you from on high, and this is the task you must complete. That will not happen. For my lady Iomedae, righteous queen of heaven, may mark a mortal with her blessing, but she would never seek to impose her will. Sometimes even I am not privy to her plans. I have come to you not at her command, but of my own accord. But I would recognize the light in heaven in any soul, and I see it in you. I can only guess how and why. is lit. Perhaps finding the answer to this question is a trial you must undergo.
I have so many questions for you. Will you tell me about Iomade and heaven?
Most certainly, with great pleasure. But first, let's discuss the issues of the day. I'm sure we'll have time to talk after that.
What did you want to ask?
I sense astonishing power in you, akin to my own. But not just that. Many of Heaven's warriors fought the monsters of the World Wound, and among them there was one I especially cherished. My young comrade and friend, Lariel. He and his sister Targona crafted holy weapons and exchanged them as a sign of loyalty and camaraderie. Lariel and Targona both disappeared in those dark years when we lost Dresden and the Sword of Valor. Even I failed to find any trace of my friends. But you carry an echo inside you, the memory of Lariel's sword. How did this come to be?
Let's see. Receive the sword. Yes, novice. Betray, you die. Companion. Or going to let himself be Lord. Kill. Requires angel mythic path. Reveal the light of heaven. When you say I carry an echo of Lariel's sword, do you mean this?
Yes, I recognize this power as mortals recognize the voice of a dear friend. It's so sad to know I will never again see the one to whom this sword once belonged. But to see its light still shining in worthy hands gives me hope.
The angel makes a gesture as though wanting to touch the light, but stops himself at the last moment. His voice is soft and sad. I received the sword in the caves beneath Canabras. I had a vision in which Lariel was betrayed. He died protecting his mortal companion.
Yes, that sounds like him. He loved mortals and understood them better than many of us celestial warriors did. Or at least, he thought he understood them. But you say the vision visited you in the caves beneath Canabras? I see now. The suffering of the first Crusaders, whose children were maimed by the demon's strange villainy, was a matter very close to Lariel's heart. For most of us, our only concern was defeating the demons. But Lariel wanted to protect mortals above all else. I think he went into those caves in search of the people who came to be known as mongrels. But demons often use our virtues to hurt and torment. They turned a rescue mission into a deadly trap. They will pay for this sin and others. Forgive me for my outburst, and thank you for your story. At least now I know what fate my dear friend suffered.
You hear the angry rumble of the angel's voice. Do you know who killed Lariel? The creature resembled Dascari and possessed immense power.
Many demons in the Abyss mimic the appearance of their repellent master, but I do not think it was a Darachni or a similar beast. I find myself reluctant even to utter this name under the skies of Golarion, but there is a monster who takes special pleasure in killing warriors of heaven.
The angel is silent for a moment, his fist clenching angrily.
It's called the Echo of Dascari, for it truly is an echo. Not a demon born of the Abyss, but an artificial creation of the Lord himself, wrought by him and several of his mortal followers. I sense his fetid mark in this tale. The Echo likes to strike by stealth, weaving an intricate web of lies and treason, and he despises everything connected to heaven and Iomade. I am not in the least surprised that he hunted Lariel down.
Echo of Dascari. Long before the world wound opened, the demon lord Discari knew of the weakness in the fabric of the material plane in Sarkoris. In a gambit lasting generations, the Lord of Locust, Host, established multiple cults throughout northeast Avestan, culminating in the transformation of the mightiest of his priests into the Echo of Discari, an avatar who could bring Discari to Sarkoris and tear a hole in reality to the rasping rifts. Only the god Eredin's direct intervention foiled the scheme. Eredin drove the Echo of Discari and his armies into the Lake of Mist and Veils in 4433. Since then, the Echo has relentlessly hated humanity and Eredin's followers in particular. Do you know anything about the people who accompanied Lariel to the caves? Most of them were traitors, but one girl stood against them and she perished.
Alas, I do not know the names of traitors or the heroine. L'Ariel died shortly before the World Wound opened its mouth for a second time, devouring new lands. Many crusaders disappeared in those dark days of chaos. The lists of the dead and missing were long. I assume the names of L'Ariel's companions were lost along with them. Perhaps those traitors are honored as fallen heroes today.
I have no more questions.
I do. This story is not over, and I humbly ask for your help.
What help would the Herald of a Goddess need from me?
I will ask for help not for myself, but for the righteous souls who may be in danger. Listen, I am going to reveal a secret to you that no crusader has known before, except for the righteous Queen Galfrey. The demons believe their control over the World Wound is absolute, especially at its heart, the corrupted lands near the Threshold Fortress. But this is not true. There, in that web of evil, lies an enclave of the forces of good, the last shrine of ill-fated Sarkoris. That place is called Pelura's Fall. The Shimmering Maiden is an Imperial Lord, our comrade and friend. She was able to conceal her temple from the eyes of the demons and keep it hidden all these years, from the opening of the World Wound until this very day. The waterfalls that gave name to the temple have run dry, but not the bravery of those who stood guard when their nation fell. The servants of Pelura have an important mission. They explore the World Wound from the inside, looking for ways to close it once and for all and restore the lands of Sarkoris. They have risked their lives, forsaking all joys and rewards in pursuit of this goal, and they have been busy with their research for 100 years. Secrecy is their only protection. If that is lost, all the forces of the Crusader army will not be enough to protect the temple. I would not reveal this secret to anyone else, but the light of heaven is so bright in you that I cannot help but trust it. Moreover, I would like you to visit Pelura's Fall with me. There are two reasons for this. First, I am worried about the fate of our valiant allies, and I want you to meet them, champion. Second, I would like you to show them the light of L'Ariel's sword. As I mentioned, this sword was created by his sister Targona. She went missing at the same time as her celestial brother. We found no evidence of her death nor any other trace of her. But by touching the sword she made, the seers of Pelura might shed some light upon her fate. Please, help me in this task. My heart yearns to find my lost comrades, or to punish those responsible for their deaths.
Tell me about Pelura.
She is an Imperial Lord, a powerful angel, one of our most important allies, and my loyal friend. She is the mistress of the stars, and the mysterious light of the Aurora. Sarkoris was the land where Pelura was revealed with particular fervor, where her most important temples were located. When the demons came to this poor land, the priests and devotees of Pelura accepted the challenge bravely. Many died, protecting and healing their friends in the first years of the calamity. This saddened the shimmering maiden. Pelura boldly decided to intervene in the affairs of mortals, and used powerful spells to hide her main temple. Even the strongest of demons cannot find it.
Tell me about the temple and the people who live there.
Pelura's Fall was once a great Sarkorian shrine. From the city of Iz and other lands, the burial barges of great chiefs would go there to set off on their last journey into the mighty streams of the falls. But the temple was famous not only as a final resting place. Pelura is the patron of stargazers. Her servants possess celestial wisdom. In reading the stars, they discover the mysteries and secrets of the world. In times of old, people would seek their counsel on many different matters, and they were respected and honored throughout Sarkoris. Today, Pelura's Fall is not what it once was. 100 years of isolation has placed an unbearable burden on the shoulders of the stargazers and their guards. But they persevere, despite the hardships. You should meet these people, for you could not hope to find a better example of self-denial and resilience.
The angel falls silent for a while, then says sadly, "What's up?" No. Alright. I want to know more about Targona and Lario. But I will wait. Actually, you know what? No. If I mute it, it won't go over the recording.
Heaven's grief at their loss could not be any greater. L'Ariel and Targona were daring and merciful in equal measure, and relentless in fighting evil. They called each other brother and sister because one soul was used to create them. Yes, it happens. Sometimes an angel is made of many souls, or the essence of the upper planes. And sometimes one soul can give life to several supernatural creatures. This was the case with Targona and L'Ariel. When the world wound opened, they were the first to go to the mortal's aid. Alas, heaven was in extreme upheaval after great Arodin died. When the evil mind of Arilu Vorlesh, paired with the will of cursed Discari, shook the foundations of the world, while the other angels and Imperial Lords were slowly waking up to the disaster that was unfolding by holding councils and getting bogged down in speculation. Targona and L'Ariel were already fighting demons, leading refugees out of the fallen Sarkoris, and trying to find out what had happened on Golarion and how to deal with it. For what had happened was so monstrous, so extraordinary, that even heaven did not know what to expect next. When Mendev answered the challenge of the Abyss and became the Kingdom of Crusaders, Targona and L'Ariel shared the hardships and glories of the First Crusade with their mortal comrades. And then they both disappeared. First L'Ariel, and then his sister immediately after. I was unable to search for them the moment I found out, for the world wound had just reopened and Dresden had fallen. It was a tremendous blow for everyone. By the time I was able to begin the search, the tide of chaos had swept away all traces of them. Only your arrival has shed some light on the sad fate of L'Ariel.
I'm ready to go to Pelura's Fall right now.
I will be glad to accompany you. Gather your companions and let us depart.
What's the worst that could happen? Alright.
A rest would be welcome.
The woman's face seems to glow with a radiant light. She looks at you with quiet dignity, and her eyes shine with warmth and wisdom. Greetings, Herald of Iomedae the Lightbringer, and your companion as well. I am Eliandra, High Priestess of Pelora. I am happy to see a new face in my temple, the first I have seen in all the years of our vigil. Kater. The man standing next to Eliandra does not look like a priest. He has a military bearing, and his face is covered with scars. He studies you for a moment, then looks you straight in the eye. Kater, leader of the Holy Guards of Pelora's Fall. I see you have revealed our existence, Hand of the Inheritor. Did we not agree to keep it a secret even from the Crusaders? What has changed? My righteous allies, this is no ordinary Crusader, but our champion. He brings us hope. He was chosen to receive the gift of the gods and has twice dealt a serious defeat to our enemies. First in Canabris, where he thwarted Descari's devious plot, then in Dresden, where he saved the city and returned the Sword of Valor. I ask that you receive him as a most welcome guest and as a brother in arms, for we stand together against the hordes of the Abyss. I am Mendel, Knight Commander of the 5th Crusade. I am honored to meet the servants of Pelora and the defenders of Sarkoris. Or I could say I trust that our meeting will prove useful and that I'm not just wasting my time here. Obviously, I'll be polite. Eliandra lays a hand on her heart. It is an honor for us as well. Tell me about your mission. Why did you decide to remain here in the World Wound? This temple has been blessed by Pelora. Whether it is day or night, the stars are always visible within the heart of this sanctuary. It is why those who study the stars conduct their observations here. Moreover, if we ever hope to understand the World Wound, the only place to study it is within its very borders. If we leave Pelora's Fall, all the work we have done over the past 100 years will be lost. You may be wondering why this work is so important. The answer is simple. We are looking for a way to heal the World Wound once and for all. Through our many years of study, we have discovered that the World Wound cannot be closed like an ordinary portal or a planar gate, because it is too much like a living creature, always growing and changing. The World Wound does not simply exist on its own. There is something else that sustains it, and until we understand what that is, our efforts to close it will never succeed. However, we have achieved much over the years. We have disproved numerous theories and trialed various research methods. Tracking oscillating energy levels across the World Wound led us to an important discovery. The World Wound has a heart, of sorts, at the place where the wound was first opened. The Threshold Fortress. We've also found a way to weaken the hearts, along with the demons that inhabit it. We will imbue a mighty artifact with power, both the power given to us by Pelora and the memory of the priests of Sarkoris. It will weaken the connection between the Threshold Fortress and the Abyss. This artifact will clear the sky above the fortress and set the sacred northern stars ablaze. Even if this doesn't heal the wound, it will give strength to those attacking its monstrous heart. I have all the resources of the crusade at my disposal. I'm sure we can assist you in your work. I do not think that's possible. This is our life's work. It requires endless devotion and can only be completed by followers of Pelora in her sacred temple. No one can aid us in this task. However, Alejandra hesitates. There is other work we were forced to abandon because we lacked the strength, time, and resources. We previously explored the possibility of opening new world wounds or improving the existing one. Hey, Trussies. Hey, sorry I'm late. I was too engorged into my new run.
Excuses.
This nonsense.
He gets on you about when you're late.
It's fine. I like the fact that he's actually enjoying a run. And without the toy box.
I'm so hungry.
Continue. Did you know the wound has already undergone a growth spurt of sorts? It's not entirely clear what happened, but the wound suddenly began to expand at a rapid pace, and the energies of the abyss poured out of it. We tried to discover what triggered this event so that we could prevent it from happening again. Research on that subject ended several decades ago, but we can give you everything we managed to discover. However, you should be careful. This is dangerous knowledge, and it must not fall into the wrong hands. Alright. Why is the situation in Pelora, or what is the situation in Pelora's fall? Things are no better or worse than they have been over the past 100 years. The temple is safely hidden from the prying eyes of demons. They simply cannot see it. However, only the most experienced fighters leave the boundaries of the temple, and they do so secretly, for the heart of the world wound lies beyond its walls. Demons and foul corruption, even the corpses of our own dead have turned against us. New event, records of Pelora Stargazers. Not enjoying it. Loot management alone has become alien to me. I can't imagine what the crusade will be like. Wait, I thought you said you were, like, you played Might and Magic before. And that this was a very much a watered down version of that game. Or it's crusade management anyway. You should be good to go. Or you're not talking about the combat aspect of it. You say you've been living here for 100 years, but you don't look that old. That is a rather uncomfortable subject for us, but by the will of Lady Pelora, all the inhabitants of the temple live longer than the normal lifespan allotted to mortals. We have no need of the Sun Orchid Elixir as our queen does. The power of the stars sustains us. We will face Pharasma's judgment only when we fulfill our mission, or the temple falls. The Hand of the Inheritor and I have a matter to discuss with you. My righteous allies, allow me to tell you about the matter that has brought us here. You knew Targona and Lariel, the angels who defended Sarkoris in its final dark days. Mendel helped me to discover the fate of Lariel, and it was, alas, sorrowful. But I have not lost hope of finding Targona, and I believe you can help me. Mendel has a special gift, the imprint of Lariel's sword. This sword was made by Targona. I know it is within your power to look for the creator of this blade, if Mendel reveals its power to you. Wait, it's not that I can't do it, it's the combat. I don't like it at all, but I'm gonna be forced to deal with it for godhood. You can do it! I believe in you! Okay. Alright, continue on with this. Alejandra and Kater exchange glances. Of course, we would not deny our help to our allies. My lady Pelora would also be glad to see Targona return, should we manage to find her alive, but the scrying ritual requires preparation. I will give the necessary orders. You will have to wait until everything is ready and the stars favor our efforts. We will help, but it would be best if you leave Pelora's fall after the ritual. Forgive my bluntness, Hand of the Inheritor, but you and the Knight Commander are notable figures. The demons are surely trying to track you, and if they follow you to our temple, our work may come to a tragic end. Alejandro's eyes drift over to one of the guards, and she is silent for some time. Then she says softly, I would like you to be our guest for a while, Knight Commander, while you wait for the ritual. See the way we live, talk to our people. Maybe news of the Crusades' revival will bring some cheer to our little company. I would ask you to pay special attention to the temple guards, as well as to the stargazers Auden, Regnard, and Teriel. Dark clouds veil their souls, but it is not within my power to help them. You should honor her request, champion. Alejandra is one of the most radiant souls I know, and Kater is one of the most loyal and devoted. They have spent 100 years together with their comrades in voluntary isolation. It would be easy to lose one's clarity of perspective. I do not know mortals well enough to sense whether doubt or despair lives in the hearts of those who dwell in the fall, but perhaps you can. So this was a quest that came upon me out of nowhere. Mythic quest, the Spring Run Drive. Sad the Stargazer's souls. Shrine. And this does not make him happy. Why? There is sorrow in the heart of Stargazer Auden. Despite his cheerful demeanor, what could be the cause? The eyes of the stargazer Teriel are trained on the stars, but Teriel cannot find peace. What are the stars telling him? Alejandra senses fear and anxiety in one of the shrine's guards. What is weighing on them? Sure. Concerned guard. The guard stands at attention when he sees you, but his eyes glow with excitement. Whoa, I didn't think I would ever see a new face around here. Well, at least not one that isn't baring its fangs or decomposing. Forgive my bluntness. Everyone's happy you're here, of course. But I'm especially glad to see you. Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense now. I tend to start blabbering when I get nervous. How does it feel to guard the same place for so many years? To tell the truth, I don't even notice the years as they pass. I just get up every day and do my job. Of course, I could go visit the scholars, look at the calendar, and be horrified. But what would be the point? Even before the demons showed up, I made a vow to defend this temple. That vow is all I have left, really. The Sarkoris I knew is gone, so there's no use dwelling on the past. You're especially happy to see me? What do you mean? The guard looks around quickly to make sure no one is listening. I would have never thought I'd say this, But there is an important matter that can only be entrusted to a stranger. I think there's a traitor among us, someone who is trying to bring the demons here. I found a strange letter hidden in a cave, and I think we need to find out who left it there and why. Why haven't you told Eliandra or Katera about the letter? Just imagine what will happen if Eliandra announces there's a traitor among us. Even if it turns out I'm wrong, the damage will already be done. If we stop trusting one another, we won't stand a chance. We might as well leave the temple and let the demons finish us off. No, we need to get to the bottom of this, but it must be done quietly. What was in the letter you found? That's the problem. I don't know. I think it's some kind of code. It looks like a constellation chart. But who hides a constellation chart in a cave? No, something's wrong here. Alright, I'll help. What do you need me to do? Here's the plan. You'll go to the caves and hide behind a large stone covered in runes. Watch to see who comes to pick up the letter. I left it there as bait, and I made sure to leave everything else untouched. No one has come for it yet, but when you find out who has betrayed us, come and tell me. Why not set up an ambush yourself? I wouldn't be able to do anything without people noticing. Whoever left the note knows when I'm here in the corridors and when I'm off duty. If I suddenly disappear, the traitor will definitely suspect something. No, for this we need an outsider. Someone who can move around more freely. We need you. I have to go. May Pelora keep you safe. Where's Fulgart? He's never liked crowds and cities. Could spend another 100 years in this temple. A small mushroom patch that has clearly been tended with loving care.
Godspeed.
A stone with runes.
Let us press on. I'm all done here.
An inscription in Hallett that reads, "Those are chorus, all our tears are for you, our lost land." Cryptic message. At first glance, this appears to be an ordinary constellation chart, but something about it doesn't seem right. Someone left it in the caves near Pelora's temple. Alright. Ambush the traitor. A dark figure stealthily approaches the drop location. In the dim light, you can see it's a middle-aged man. He looks around furtively as he reaches for the letter. Silently step out of your hiding place. The man finds nothing in the drop location and releases a sigh of disappointment. He turns to leave and freezes when he sees you. There's terror in his eyes, but he quickly regains his composure. The commander of Dresden, right? I'm Vestari from the temple. I didn't expect to see you here. I was just taking a walk. Who are you? I'm one of the stargazers. You must forgive my jumpiness. It's been a long time since I've seen a friendly face outside the temple. The corpses of lost crusaders can hardly be called friendly. And intimidate. 23. I have a bonus of 23. I cannot fail. Why are you mumbling? Tell me the truth or I'll shake it out of you. Succeeded. Vestari sighs deeply. All right. You don't live in the temple, so there's no need to hide anything from you. I'm breaking the law, but I haven't betrayed anyone. It's quite the opposite, actually. You should come with me and ask Christy about the meaning of the note. Christy always says she doesn't want to hide anymore, so maybe talking to you will help ease her conscience.
We march ahead.
Alright. So we're looking for Christy. Melinda Zara. I yearn to be in the palaces of Lady Pelora. Long to fly again, to see my brothers and sisters, to be free. Thank the gods every day that Eliandra and Kater are with us. The temple wouldn't have survived without them. Let's see. And this is the same thing.
Our path leads on.
Alright, we don't need the stuff anymore. A schedule listing the daily responsibilities of the stargazers and guards. The schedule is packed so tightly, those who adhere to it must have little time to think of anything else.
I will guide us.
The table is set with bowls of unappetizing conjured food and glasses of water. It is clearly intended to be a feast, though it is rather austere. It is a rather austere affair. Parcels wrapped in parchment and tied with string. Perhaps they are meant to be gifts. That's odd. Flags have been hung in celebration, but they are old and faded, and now look more sad than cheerful. Alright. And what's over here? A board filled with complaints and suggestions, some birthday greetings, and an announcement that Teriel is willing to teach the flute to anyone who wishes to learn.
Godspeed.
No. Ragnar, Stargazer, and over here. Ah, here it is. Streams fall. Alright, Christree. Christree greets you anxiously as if expecting the worst. Are you the commander from Dresden? Although I don't know why I asked. It's not like you could be anyone else. Listen, Christree, I don't think the commander wishes us harm. If you want to ease your conscience, tell him everything. Hand over the letter. Vestari said you can decipher this letter. Christree takes the chart, of course, because I'm the one who put the constellations there in the first place. The lantern bearer is a warden, so it means guard. The stranger is an observing eye, so that means we've been exposed. And the sleeping Tarask means we need to lie low and be more cautious. Christree looks at you, her face a mixture of hope and defiance. The star said you want to confess something to Eliandra? Christree nods. Yes, I want to confess to Eliandra and our entire community that Vestari and I love each other. We've loved each other for so long, we're practically an old married couple. Eliandra is against romantic unions because she thinks tempestuous passions will cause division in our community, but she doesn't understand the nature of love. You can discipline the flesh, but you can't restrain the soul. Not that Eliandra would believe us, but Vestari and I really did try to resist our feelings. We made a vow to stay away from one another, to never again break the rules. Christree sighs, but the bond between us proved stronger than our resolve. Perhaps it's the will of the stars, and despite everything that's happened, we are simply two halves that are meant to be one whole. If Sarkoris hadn't fallen, we'd have lived happily and freely. We wouldn't have to hide, and we wouldn't have to exchange stupid notes. These notes aren't stupid. Do you really want us to be torn apart, forbidden from seeing one another? Right. You keep things as they are. Me. Eliandra is a kind and wise leader. I will persuade her not to stand in the way of your love. Christy looks at you doubtfully. I've known her longer than you. Of course Eliandra is kind, but she is also very stubborn. Once she has made a decision, there is no point in trying to change her mind. She and Kater are much alike in that regard. Except he always does what's right, and she always does what her heart tells her. And of course her heart has told her that love should be forbidden, supposedly for the sake of peace in the community. Ha! These stupid rules haven't helped anyone find peace. It's like, okay. Beside lovers' fate. Hate. Nandra. Still, I think it's sometimes better to remain silent than to speak up. Love is the strongest of all feelings. It can be forbidden, but you cannot rid someone of it. Okay. Alright. We'll talk to Alejandra next then. How can I help you, my radiant friend? Instead of going through all these, I want to talk to you about the stargazers, Vistari and Christri. Alejandra looks up and sighs. Vistari and Christri, my dear rebels, you must think I am harsh for enforcing such strict rules here in the temple, but such measures are necessary when you live through decades of isolation in such a small community, shut off from the rest of the world. Love, and all the jealousy, discord, quarrels, and breakups that go along with it, could result in genuine disaster. Vestari and Christri are the living embodiment of such a disaster. I love them with all my heart, like they are my own children. However, before the temple was hidden 100 years ago, they could have 5 quarrels and 6 reconciliations, all between one moonrise and the next. At other times, they would go a month without talking to one another. That created quite a problem, since stargazers are supposed to share their observations and research. This carried on for years until, after a particularly public fracas, I decided to forbid all romantic relationships in the temple. I'm so poor, I hate having real life problems in fantasy settings. My condolences. Wait, how are you, like, can't you just sell all, how are you poor? Like, you can sell everything you have that you don't need. There's a lot of weapons that you're most likely not going to use. Right, continue. Right. It was an impulsive decision, I admit, but it was not made without reason. I was trying to maintain peace in our community. And I was also concerned for the feelings of others. Many of those you see here, Auden, Teriel, and even Kater himself, parted with their families for the sake of our mission. It is unfair for them to be the only ones so painfully deprived. So that is why love and relationships are now forbidden in the community. And as you can see, the rules are largely the result of Vestari and Christri's own actions. Flute management. Well, I did save, but well, it's your right to decide the rules of the community. We'll try the good option. I need a 6 or higher, though. So chances are I'm gonna fail this. Let's see. You've lived here for many years. You've become a family. Does a family reward love with punishment? Vestari and Christri have loved each other for a long time. It's not just a sudden whim. They deserve your acceptance. Oh, wow, I succeeded. 14, sweet. Eliandra is silent for a long time. I'm afraid this decision will be the most difficult for Auden, Teriel, and the others who have lost their families. It may also cause chaos in the future, but perhaps you are right. We should not try to thwart the desires of the heart. I will inform the community about the changes to the rules. Alright, thank you for your time. Good luck to you. Do not hesitate to contact me if you need anything. You can also rest in the guard room when you are tired. Do not worry, Commander. The corruption of the abyss cannot reach you here. Our temple is built on holy ground, beneath the stars of Pelora. Alright. So let them know. Alright, Christri and Vistari stand together, showing a united front. They're not holding hands, but you can feel the unbreakable bond between them. Afraid of being seen together. I told Eliandra about everything. She won't stand in your way. Eliandra agreed to change the rules? For us? That doesn't sound like her, but I guess we have all changed over the years. Thank you. We will never forget the kindness you and the High Priestess have shown us. The defiance fades from Christri's eyes. I don't know how you convinced her, but I think you've worked a miracle. I guess Eliandra really does care about us. I admit I was wrong. Thank you. I have to go. May Pelora keep you safe. I'm so glad that the stars have led you here. Stars help those who help themselves. I had already self to face exile. But now, no one will have to leave. What a wonderful day. Andra, I should apologize to her for all my unkind thoughts. Alright. Well, with all that out the way, we go back and talk to that one guard. So you can know to stop being concerned about a traitor in the mist. Alright. The guard gives you a nod. It's like you've brought the spirit of victory with you, Commander of Dresden. I hope we don't have to wait much longer. There's been no betrayal. This was all just a misunderstanding. The guard looks relieved. There wasn't? Ooh, that's a load off my mind. Over the years, we've become a family here. If there truly was a traitor in the temple, well, it would change our lives forever. Thank you for the good news. Have to go. May Pelora keep you safe. Alright. That's one down. Let's see. And then we go back and talk to Teria.
Our path leads on.
Let's see. Teria. Ah, here he is. Teria. An elf stargazer is studying a pile of parchments. His appearance is disheveled, and his attention seems to be entirely focused on the calculations in front of him. And again, I knew it. That confirms everything. When the elf notices your presence, he looks up from his work. The commander of Dresden. Incredible. I never thought I'd hear those words. My name is Teriel, and I am a stargazer. Tell me this, Commander. You make the rules in Dresden, but do you also abide by them? Yes, as the commander, I must set an example for my soldiers. Alright, so, good. Teriel looks at you in disbelief. Such noble words. It's been a long time since I've seen a leader who doesn't think they are above the rules. You must know the person I'm talking about, of course. Kater. Are you trying to accuse Kater of something? I've known him for ages. Trust me, we were close friends for a long time. He certainly knows how to make a good impression. But if you look beyond his fake exterior, you'll begin to see his true nature. Teriel points to the parchments, which are filled with columns of strange digits and symbols. Look for yourself. It's obvious. A week ago, it was the stone tree. 3 months ago, it was the outskirts of Winter Sun. And 20 years ago, it was outside of Dresden. 50 years ago, it was Iz. And finally, 70 years ago, the stone tree. I assume he is visiting someone, most likely a woman. Teriel glances at you and frowns. Ah, yes, forgive me. I haven't spoken to anyone about this for a while. To me, this is clear as day, but I can understand how you might find my calculations confusing. The stars tell me about Kater's movements, and I can assure you sometimes he goes to places that are not filled with demons and cultists, but with wine and women. Take Dresden, for example. You see, Kater has forbidden everyone who remained in the temple from seeing their family. He says it is dangerous, and that we must keep the secret of our lair. The elf's lips curl with distaste. But for some reason, this rule doesn't apply to him. We all vow to stay within these walls and fulfill our duty, yet he gets to leave the temple whenever he wants. So what is he up to out there? I'd bet my life that he's going to see his wife, Ymris, or some other woman. What other reason could he have to go to the stone tree? Dresden was still under the control of demons 20 years ago. If you'd really been keeping an eye on Kater, you would know that.
Sorry.
Teriel considers this. You're right. I keep forgetting about what happened to Dresden. It's hard to remember everything.
Real life problems and fantasy settings.
Yep.
I don't get it.
Oh, in his current playthrough, he is lacking funds.
Oh.
That's not funny. It sucks when you don't have a lot of money.
No, I'm just laughing because real life problems and fantasy settings. Like, you do the fantasy settings to avoid real life problems. And in real life problems, similar stuff happens.
Yeah, it
That's what I
sucks
was
when it
laughing
does.
at. Like, it sucks. It's like a sucky kind of laugh. Like, how ironic kind of laugh.
I'd offer my condolences instead of laugh at it.
It's an ironic laugh for me. It's like how ironic.
Alright, but on one thing I am absolutely clear. Kater went to the stone tree 70 years ago, and I know that because we haven't spoken since then. A shadow falls across Teriel's face, but his sadness quickly gives way to anger. Well, of course, I have no need to keep track of his comings and goings. Why would I, when I don't speak to him? But when he's been away for a long time, Alejandra asked me to check on him to make sure he's still alive. That's why I have these calculations. So you see, it's nothing personal. I simply want what's best for the temple. What is a stone tree? It's a tall tree, withered and petrified, even before the demons invaded. For some reason it remains standing. It's supposed to be a sacred place. They used to hold celebrations and weddings there. Ymris and Kater got married there too, you know? So it all makes sense. Why don't you tell Alejandra that Kater is breaking the rules? Do you really think she'd believe me? She trusts Kater more than any of us. She and Kater agree on everything. She'll always take his side. Alright, I'll find out where Kater goes. Teriel nods in satisfaction. Excellent. He definitely stopped at the stone tree. I wouldn't be surprised if he's cozying up to some beauty from Winter Sun in a cave somewhere. He's probably feasting with her and laughing at us fools for trusting him. I have to go. May Pelora keep you safe. Now where did I put my quill? Alright. Shadow of a doubt. Teriel has observed Kater's movements, the stars, and has begun to suspect that the shrine's defender was not as honest and noble as he seemed. Perhaps the stone tree holds the secret to Kater's secret. So I have to go to the stone tree before I can finish this quest. I have to go to Wintersun. So I got abducted for nothing. Talk to Regnart. A pale young man is staring at you. Incredible. I didn't think anyone could find this place. You are a gift from heaven. Oh, I mean, forgive my rudeness. I am Regnart, a stargazer. I'm very pleased to meet you. I think you might be the only one who can help me. Why am I the only one who can help you? The undead roam near the entrance to our caves. They were once great warriors, but now they're just corpses, raised to undeath through some foul ritual. I've become very interested in one of them. You see, I study the history of Sarkoris. Legend tells of a great ruler named Aliberge, who was buried with his mighty sword, the Rage of Ice. Of course, most people think it's just a myth. But when the guards told me they defeated an undead that was wearing ancient armor and wielding an ornate sword, I almost lost my mind. The guards don't want to get near the corpse again, even if he really is dead this time. But maybe you could bring me the Rage of Ice? Just think. We could prove that Elberge, the Master of Is, really existed. It'd be a breakthrough in historical research. Let's see. Alright, I'll bring you the sword. Ragnar's face lights up. I don't know how to thank you. A young man such as yourself must find it difficult to be stuck in one place for so long. Ragnar shakes his head sadly. A young man, you say. I've forgotten how old I really am. By Pelora's grace, my body does not age, but my soul feels dry, as if I'm nothing more than an empty husk. I used to admire the stars, but now all I see are a collection of dim lights in the sky. I know their paths by heart, but... He stops abruptly. But you're probably not interested in all that. I have to go. It must be nice to have somewhere to go. Talk to Auden. The dwarf looks critically at the table that's been set for a feast. There, plates, cutlery, still no nice cups though. Just have to wrap the present and... The dwarf notices you and gives you a friendly smile. We finally have guests in our quiet abode. Please come in, have a glass of water. Unfortunately, there's nothing else I can offer you, but our water is of the very purest quality. I'm Auden, by the way. A stargazer at your service. What's the occasion? My daughter Renhild turns 125 today. Such an important date calls for an important gift, but where could I get such a present? Well, luckily, there's soft stone in the local caves, and I've carved her a clasp for a cloak. Came out all right, I think. Of course, when we complete our star vigil, I'll get her something better. It seems like only yesterday she was running around in her little shift, asking me to toss her in the air, and now 125. How time flies. Where's the guest of honor? Auden wilts slightly. Truth be told, I don't know. I can only hope she is in a safe place with her mother and aunts. Do you see the packages in the corner? Those are all the gifts I never had a chance to give her. I suppose she's outgrown most of them. But what if I'm a grandpa now, eh? My grandchildren could have them. Heh, I wish I knew for sure. Auden pauses to think. Wait, you're from Dresden. You must know about Winter Sun Village. There was a temple of Gorum there 100 years ago. Maybe it's still there. I know that the priests of Gorum were hiding my family and other refugees when the invasion began. Please, go to the temple and search for anything or anyone that might provide answers about what happened to my family. Even if the truth is bitter, I want to know. I can't remain in blissful ignorance forever. Very well. I will find your daughter. For help. You're putting aside your own important affairs just to help me. I don't know how to thank you. Auden gives you a small package. It's been carefully wrapped in parchment and tied neatly with a string. If you find Renhild, please give this to her. Let her know that her daddy always remembers her birthday. And give her all my love and good wishes. Pure water is very rare in the wound. Do not underestimate its value. Of course. But from time to time, something stronger wouldn't hurt, eh? Auden chuckles good-naturedly. But we have strict rules about such things. A stargazer can't be a seeing double, can he? For future reference, Ember gives no XP. You killed Ember again, huh? Damn. I have to go. Go and fear nothing. The stars will be your guide.
I will guide us.
Damn. Alright, let's loot the place. Perception check failed. 20? Okay, whatever. She's a threat to my doctrine as a future god. How? What did she do? What could she do? I miss our waterfall, the roar of the water, the spray of the mist in the air. I am also glad we did not abandon the temple. We did not leave it to be desecrated by demons. Champion, how can I help you? Huh, I have to go. That was it. Alright, I'm just gonna go to this real quick. What does this say? A statue of Pelora made in a simple but expressive style characteristic of Sarkoris. Neat. Alright. I am a god of battle. She preaches peace. Fair enough. Alright, guys. Mostly Atrocious. I have to go. I have paperwork to grab. I have to go back on the antibiotics. And I have then I have other affairs to close. Oh god, that doctor's appointment was not fun. Alright, and I still have a bunch of paperwork to deal with in regards to getting the house. So I will talk to you all later. And until then,